What is going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here on the high road for the opposition preview for the North London derby. We got lead judges with us. Did you have a long trip over from South London today?
Yeah, well, it's very good, like, you know. Very good. Back in enemy territory, like, you know. So, but there you go.
Yeah, you know, this fixture. It's the fixture that we all wait for, you know. It comes around twice a year, obviously. We haven't had much success over the last couple of years here, but, you know, it's a fixture that, you know, means a lot to both of us. It runs deep. You've got Tottenham family. I got Arsenal family. How are your nerves coming into this one?
Do you know what? I don't care who's the best team and who ain't, whatever. There's always nerves. It starts now as we're talking everything like that, and then, you know, come Sunday morning, I'm as nervous as anything, like, you know. Even when we was like last season, and even at 3-0, you're still nervous saying. And look at what happened at the end, you know. So it's I think it's a nerves that you don't want every week, you know what I mean. Like, but it's enjoyable for when you're playing against Spurs.
It's a strange one because when Spurs play at home, particularly to Arsenal, you know, if you go by the history, it's usually a draw. You know, obviously Arsenal do win on the odd occasion, but it's usually the home territory makes a big difference in this fixture. You've won the last two here at Tottenham, which I was looking back at the record, since 1989, you've never done two in a row at Tottenham, which is crazy to think about.
I know.
It's like, oh, surely you're not doing three in a row.
Well, that's been very nice, but no, that's a great point. You know, listen, when Arsenal winning titles and you know, the Invincibles and all that, we never won here. Do you know what I mean? There was a lot of draws. You know, it's a tough place to come. Probably a little bit tougher at White Hart Lane than what it is here now. But listen, make no mistakes, this is never an easy place for Arsenal to come. And to get 2 wins on the trot is fantastic. I felt last season, you know, we didn't play that well.
In both of them?
Well, I thought in the 2-0, I thought we played really well that day. In the 2-0,
well, there was 2-2 and there was 3-2 last season.
No, sorry. In the up here, like the 2 times that we won at Tottenham, like we won 2-0, we played well. I thought this one we didn't play well. And yeah, if you go back to the last games, I thought probably you was a better team at the Emirates. So listen, form does go out. I know, like.
People say that like form goes out the window. I don't think it does though in North London derbies.
It doesn't. Like, you know, like the best team normally wins. But listen, you know, Tottenham have been the better team than Arsenal quite a few times, and you go over to the Emirates and you've not won. So what does that tell you? It probably is home advantage is a big thing, and I think that's why it's always a little bit more nervy coming to here because of that.
Do you feel like it has changed the dynamic of this fixture when we have moved from White Hart Lane to Tottenham Stadium?
100%. Like, you know, it's still a fantastic stadium, great atmosphere, but it's not got that intimidation factor. And I don't mean that in a nasty way. I mean it in a good way. Like, you used to come here and it was like so hostile, the atmosphere and all that. Like,
I feel like those derbies need that edge, though.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. You still got it, but not. You know, it was like. You know, 10 out of 10. It's probably 7 out of 10 now, like, you know. And listen, I think that's because it's a bigger ground and you lose that little bit of closeness and everything like that. But yeah, I think it is a little bit different. But it doesn't make it any easier, like, you know. As I say, we've come here on a couple of occasions and got well and truly beaten. So we don't want that to happen on Sunday.
You saw last season at the Emirates, Declan Rice went off at half-time. Obviously, he's out with a suspension in this game. Odegaard out as well. Do you feel like we proper dominated you in that second half? Bissouma was running the show in the middle of the park. Are you worried, like, looking back at that game with Declan Rice and Odegaard out for this game?
Not really.
No?
Not really, you know what I mean, because injuries
I know many Gooners that are very worried.
Yeah, but injuries are part and parcel of it. As you say, Declan Rice probably didn't have one of his greatest games when we play in that game there, like, you know. I'd be more worried if a few of our defenders are out. I think defensively we're very, very good, and you know, like, hopefully all our attackers will be there, which is important. And the way Tottenham play, the midfield, I don't know if is as important as what people are saying, because like they play a very, very high line, so it condenses the midfield a little bit. So it really means if we can get someone on the ball, can get those passes through the lines, and then like it's one-on-one like it did happen last year. I didn't think realistically we done fantastic. It wasn't a midfield battle where it was dominant last season. So Listen, injuries and part, but look, don't get me wrong. Do I want Odegaard and Declan Rice playing in this game? Of course I do. I'll be a lot more confident, and it does. I don't say even it out, but it makes it. I think Tottenham fans would be a little bit more confident going into this game now, being at home without Declan Rice and Odegaard.
Yeah, and that's the way I'm feeling. Like I wasn't confident for probably either of the games last season, as much as I might have said on YouTube we were going to win and all that. I wasn't really confident going into the games last season, but this year in this game, I'm actually looking at it quite positively. There's no chance you can come in 3 in a row and win 3 in a row. There's just no chance that is going to happen. I really just can't dread to believe that. And you're looking at what you're going to miss with Odegaard. He's your best presser. He's your most creative outlet as well. And I just feel like he's like, when he's not playing, you miss a massive element to your game.
Yeah, of course. You know what I mean? Like, if I'd be lying to say if Odegaard's not playing, we ain't going to miss him because, on the other hand, I'm saying he's probably the second best midfield player in the league, so you're going to miss him. And
after James Maddison, right?
Yeah, well, James Maddison's a decent player, isn't he? Like, I mean, he's not in Odegaard's level, but listen, injuries are part and parcel of it. You had your injuries last season, you know what I mean? So I'm not going to go here and say, look, we've got so out and all that. Like, we've still got enough in that team, I believe, that can win most games in the Premier League. Maybe not at Man City. That's when I think we're going to miss him a lot more than what I feel with this game. But listen, if you turn around and said, Van der Ven's not playing and all that, of course you're going to be a little bit happy. That's how it is, you know what I mean? But Arsenal's still got enough.
And that's the point. That Mickey Van der Ven is crucial to us in this game because the way I envisage it, I think it's going to be a bit of a similar setup to last year. You're going to sit deep. You're going to wait for those counters. You're going to wait for your moments with Saka and whoever it may be, Trossard, Sterling potentially. And you've got your set pieces as well, which obviously you scored 2 from last season. And I think those are the key areas where you're going to hurt us. I think we're going to be dominating the possession.
Yeah, listen, I agree with you on that lot. And people go, you dominate play and all that. Sometimes teams allow you to do that. You know what I mean? So it's not always a great thing like, we've had all the play and all that. As I said, going back to last season, I'm looking at it and thinking, we're 3-0 up here. But set pieces and counter-attacking goals are part and parcel of football, So
it is something that we have looked at. I think we are starting to defend them differently this season.
Yeah, well, exactly, listen, Ange would be mad if he didn't. He's had to have a look at that, and I'll be really honest, the last few games I've watched with Spurs, I don't think you deserve to lose to Newcastle, and I don't think you should have been home and dry against Leicester. And of course, if you're Everton and you're not on it, you're going to get done. So Tottenham are, I think, probably in a worse position what their probably form goes on it. So we've got to be wary of this game. Got to be wary of it.
In a strange way, I feel like Spurs and Arsenal have had opposite starts to the season where you've been getting the results, you've got 2 wins and a draw, but haven't been playing that well. I felt like, you're fairly lucky to beat Aston Villa on the day. I thought other teams caused you problems as well, where we have been playing fairly well, but haven't been getting the results on the board.
I'd agree with that. I wouldn't say we was lucky against Aston Villa, but that's a good result. We give them a couple of one chance. I think Gabriel give them a chance, but Reyes had to make a couple of good saves in all the games. So and the Brighton game, we was probably that was our better performance out of the 2, and we didn't win it. So that just shows you in football. Sometimes you play well and you don't win. So. I'm not been absolutely delighted with our start, if I'll be honest. I felt like, always going to be tricky first game of the season because of the Euros and everything like that. But a great result at Villa Park. And, that's a tough place to go to, as this will be on Sunday.
Do you feel, looking at Spurs over the past year, since Ange has come in, do you think he's the right man for the job? Do you think he's taking us in the right direction?
Well, time will tell. I know a few Tottenham fans are starting to have little grumblings about him,
with Arteta first 2-3 years.
Yeah, and listen, a lot of Arsenal fans, me included, weren't happy at the start. But look at it now to what's happened.
Sometimes you've got to trust the process.
Trust it, and trust what Ange is doing. I don't know if Spurs will. I think on the back of last season's results, and if it was to go a little bit pear-shaped this season, maybe there'd be a bit more restless in the Spurs camp. I don't know, like, you know, but listen, I think what he's done, he's brought a bit of a feel-good factor back to Spurs. I don't think you can say that. I know, like, a couple of my Spurs mates going on Sunday are looking forward to games where a couple of seasons ago they didn't want to go.
Just dreading it. Just dreading it under Conte and Mourinho. And
so you know that if you come to Spurs, you might win, you might lose, you might draw, but you're going to be entertained. So that's the side of it. Then that'll take you so far, and then there's going to be a time when he's going to have to look to maybe change it a little bit, like, you know.
I was talking about this yesterday with my brother about who does it mean more to? Does it mean more to Arteta? Does it mean more to Ange? Like, Ange just had a poor start in terms of results to the season, and you know, if a few more bad results, there are going to be grumbles, like you say. But Arteta, if you lose to Tottenham and then you go and lose to Man City next weekend, you're 8 points already behind Man City.
Well,
in the title race, 5 games gone.
It's if they win their games, which they probably will.
That's what I'm saying. So who do you think it means more to? Who's more under pressure coming into this game?
Oh, that's a good question. Like, you know what I mean? It depends. I think Arsenal are under a little bit of pressure because, you know, like dropping points at home. You can't drop points at home. I think if we'd have beaten Brighton, and then like you could say, well, do you know what? We could probably afford to lose, draw at Tottenham and draw at City or something like that. We've got to if we any aspirations of winning the league, we've got to get 4 points from the next 2 games, and that is 3 here and 1 there, like, you know what I mean? Which is not, you know, this is Arsenal's hardest 2 games.
You're not winning here this weekend. You ain't winning here this weekend.
2 games, like, you know. You say that every time, like, you know what I mean? So, but no, like,
it's usually true apart from the last 2 years.
So, like, you know what I mean? So, like, the last 2. Listen, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I know that if Arsenal don't beat Spurs, I'm going to be gutted. Same as you. I think that it's massive for both teams, isn't it?
It's a game that just means everything.
I think it does.
And it's like, it's not just it means everything because it's Spurs Arsenal. There's the family element. There's the element that we're just talking about how it shapes the season.
Of course it does.
So, you know, whoever wins this game can actually have a springboard to really kickstart their season.
100%. Like, you know, like if Arsenal were to beat Tottenham, and then just for instance, like, you know, in a nicer scenario for us, we win this game on Sunday. You go to Brentford and you don't win them, and then you lose to Man United. It's a completely different thing. But if you win the game, then, you know, you guarantee, you know, that Brentford game is a formality then because of the energy that you brought on. And then I'd back you to beat Man United because I think that they're nowhere near the side they should be. So, I think, like, Tottenham can have a great season this season, and you'll look back and go, it was that game against Arsenal, and if we go on from here, and, you know, it was when we won at Spurs, you know what I mean? Like, so this is more. I know, like, last season we won and all that, but this there's more riding on this game than there was last season. I know you might think that's it because at the moment.
Just didn't feel like that at the back of the last season, I'll tell you that.
No, but it wasn't in our hands. Coming here last season, it wasn't in our hands. Where it still is. So
it was in our hands. It could have been. It was in our hands last season.
You know what I mean? Like, exactly. So, you know, so even though we won here last season, you know, you're still hoping that Man City were going to slip up. But if we was to win here, it's still in our hands. So it's a big game.
Did you get that glimmer of hope when Sonny went through one-on-one last season?
No. Listen, you know what I mean? Like listen, and that's the standard that Tottenham have got to get to, where you're not wanting to lose games against other teams.
100%.
You know? So, like,
100%.
That is something that Tottenham. You know, I've never had that. Of all the times
it's coming your way, Lee. Don't you worry. It's coming your way.
It's never come my way. I've never wanted Spurs. You know, like, I'll tell you what, it was a time. Do you remember when Spurs played Man United? Going back in '99, you know, Les Ferdinand. So I still didn't cheer because I knew it was going to happen. Yeah. But probably that was the only time. But for different reasons. So listen, if Spurs would have won that game, you know, you may be like playing on a Tuesday and Wednesday night, right? You know, so it's that is what you got to do. The standards. You've got to get to those standards, and
we were at those standards. We let it drop for a bit, but now Ange is taking us in the right direction, in my opinion. But back on your injury problems, I've seen a few clips of you online saying you want Ethan Nwaneri to start this game.
Yeah, well, the only reason that I do is I've seen him in America. He's very, very good. He's a talented kid, and if he's the backup to Odegaard, then, well, you know.
You don't think Havertz will just drop back into
Havertz could drop back in there. We've got options. I think, like, that's what I think a lot of people don't realise. We could put Havertz back in there. Trossard can go back in there. Shinchenko can play midfield. That we've got a lot of options. So I wouldn't want to see Havertz go there because I think Arsenal play a lot better with him up front. But if Jesus is fit, then maybe that, again, that's an option, like, you know.
What do you think Arteta will go with?
I think he'd probably go with experience. So it'd be like Jorginho, Partey, and I think Trossard are playing here, and him and Havertz can sort of swap about a little bit. I think that would probably be, if I was a manager, I'd probably go. But part of me thinks
Jorginho, Partey, Havertz
could go that way, or Trossard in that role, or he could say, do you know what, give the kid the go.
What about Raheem Sterling? You think he's got a chance to start? I know a couple of Arsenal fans really want to see him start.
Well, I'm not that. I'm on that road. You know what I mean? When they go, I'll give certain, because he's got something to prove against.
He always scores against Spurs. I tell you that.
Does he? Oh well, he starts. But like, he's a danger to come on. Like, you know, that's the one thing I will say. Arsenal might be light in midfield, but they've got a lot of options up front and a lot of defensive stability there. So, you know, we'll have to wait and see. Like, you know what I mean? Like.
I think a big difference to the game here last season. Obviously, he scored 2 set pieces, but there was that one pass from Havertz that completely cut us open, and Saka obviously burned Ben Davis. It won't be Ben Davis here; it'll be Udogie this year. And I think Udogie actually handled Saka really well at the Emirates last season. So I think that does add that extra element, and obviously Mickey van der Ven next to him. So I do think we could be actually well equipped to deal with your counters.
Yeah, look, listen, you know, I agree, like, but Newcastle done exactly the same thing to you. You know, he was on the ascendancy. I thought, like, you know, I was with my Spurs family that day, and I was saying, you're going to win this game now, and they went, no, we'll lose it 2-1.
Sim will say that. Sim was out the whole way through. We're losing this 2-1. We're losing this 2-1.
And he went, they lose it 2-1, and Bill, like, who's my mum's partner, went, told you, so Tottenham, like, you know what I mean?
Are you not proper Spurs? So, you don't think you're going to lose 2-1 when you're playing well in a 1-1?
Yeah, so, you know, you do leave yourself vulnerable to that. You know, look, yeah, I think, like, Ben Davis is decent, but he's not as good as what you got there. But then again, he you know, he does go forward a lot, so it'd be interesting, like, you know what I mean, from that point of view.
All right, Lee, you're back here on Sunday. Yeah. I don't think you'll be maybe not as many selfies as you've got today.
No, right, you know what I mean. I'll head down and get in and out, like, you know. But yeah, so but no, it's always nice to come here and try and get the 3 points, and yeah, it'd be a good game.
Score prediction?
I'm going to go Arsenal to win it 2-0.
2-0.
2-0.
Clean sheet.
Clean sheet.
Nah, we're definitely scoring, that's for sure. We ain't losing either, so I'm going 2-1 to Spurs.
2-1 to Spurs.
I think Spurs can finally beat Arsenal. We haven't beaten you since that 3-0 game. When, was it, who got sent off? Was it Holding? Holding got sent off, yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, we haven't beaten you since then.
Blimey.
So it's about time.
Well, for
law
you
of
guys,
averages and that.
I don't believe in law of averages, you know what I mean? Like, you know, because like...
Spurs would have won a trophy by now, this law of averages.
Listen, yeah. You know, like, listen, it's 2 good teams going at it. As I say, I think I can sense that you're a little bit boiled by the injuries. We haven't got your injuries. I can tell that there's a little bit more confidence with the Spurs fan base.
I wouldn't say confidence. It's more. I think it's more hopeful. More hope going into it.
You know, like, and listen, I'm not being cocky when I say this. Arsenal are a very, very good team now. Like, you know, over the last couple of seasons have gone up a level. I didn't think that they would, but they have, and but not quite at the level that we want to get to. But you know, listen, if Arsenal are going to have aspirations of winning this league,
you've got to win these games.
You've got to win these games, exactly that.
100%. But, you know, Spurs do raise their game usually in the North London derby. Even though we haven't taken the points in recent years, we still have played well, in my opinion, the last couple of games. So, look, it's going to be a big one Sunday. I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait to get down to the packed High Road. It's going to be an intense atmosphere in there. Let me know your score predictions and go subscribe to Lee Judges as well. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.